What's up guys, and welcome back to Ginger TV. So approximately a week ago, one of my friends called me and he was like, I need your help. My cousin wants to build himself a PC. I was like, sure. What does he need help for? Why doesn't he build it alone? He told me he doesn't know how to choose his parts. And looking back at it, I remember when I started into PC building, I didn't know nothing either. So I had to look up everything, I had to watch videos, go on Reddit, go on blogs, ask questions to get informed and get better and better at it. So he has a budget of $1,000 and he's a gamer and a streamer, so his PC has to be able to game and stream, and the $1,000 budget includes the monitor. So I was like, oh sure, I'll help him, and this is how I came up with this video idea. So today I'm going to show you guys how to go through the process of choosing your pieces and what I personally use to build, to make builds, to help friends, give them advice, and to make like small researchers here and there. So this is exactly what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna go to my computer monitor and we're gonna start the video. Alright guys, so I'm on my computer right now. I am on PC Part Picker. This is the main tool that I use for building PCs and making builds. And this is the part list of the computer that I made for my friend's cousin. So it's an AMD Ryzen 5 2600. It's an MSI B450 Tomahawk 80X motherboard. I have 16GB of DDR4 3000 MHz RAM. I have a Crucial P1 1TB M.2 SSD. I chose the RTX 2060 6GB. For the case, it's the Phanteks Eclipse P350X, and power supply, it's the EVGA Supernova G3 550 watt. For the monitor, I was able to look at the monitor's selection, and there was a great deal for the AOC 75Hz 1080p monitor. Now let's go backwards and I will tell you exactly how I chose every single part. Now for the CPU, the three main indicators that I will tell you guys to look at are super simple, and they're almost all about performance. They are the core count, the core clock, and the price. These will decide what CPU will be taken. So for his budget of $1,000 and for a gamer and streamer, I will choose the Ryzen 5 2600. Why the Ryzen 5 2600? It has 6 core, 12 threads that he will be able to use for streaming, because he will need this amount of power for streaming. It takes some power, so if you want to game and stream at the same time, he will need even more power in the future if he's going to play higher end games. The core clock's 3.4 GHz, it's good enough. 6 cores, like I said, 65 watts, it's not too like power heavy, and it's $119. You can choose AMD or Intel. AMD is, in my opinion, more budget friendly, so you will have a lot of power for a good budget. For $119, in my opinion, the Ryzen 5 2600, it's a no-brainer. Why I didn't choose the third generation? It's because of the price difference. It's $70 more expensive, and this $70 is better spent like on the graphics card or on a better case if you want. Now, this is for the processor, but it shouldn't be too hard to choose the processor. What are you gonna do? If you're gonna do a regular browser, you don't need like 8 core, 16 thread. Get yourself a 4 core CPU and you should be fine. If you're gonna go more heavy, intense programming or video editing and high-end streaming, I would suggest you to get a better CPU, because you will be using all this power. For his needs, the 2600 Ryzen 5 6 core 12 thread should be enough, and that's why I chose it. Now for the motherboard, I don't usually choose fancy motherboard that have SLI support or that have overclocking capabilities at higher level. I just choose a motherboard that have the main features, but I need 3 requirements. The first requirement is it has to have 4 RAM slots. The second requirement, it has to have at least 1 M.2 slot. And the third requirement, it should have enough PCI slots to allow me to upgrade in the future, so I can add a Wi-Fi card, or if I want more USB ports or anything in the future, I can do it without changing the motherboard. This one is pretty basic and pretty simple at a good budget, and that's why I chose it. It have 4 RAM slots over here, it have enough PCI slots to make me upgrade, and it has an M.2 slot for the storage that we chose. And it has a good port selection on the back, but If he wants to change it in the future, he will be able, but I don't think he will need to change it, to be honest, because he's a beginner, so he doesn't really know about the SLI or Crossfire or overclocking at a higher level. That's why this motherboard should be fine. Also, one thing that I like about this website is the ratings over here. So this motherboard got 4.7 average rating out of 86 ratings, which is pretty good. It's not pretty good, it's really good. So it should be a no-brainer to choose it. You should be fine using it. You shouldn't have any problem. One more thing I have to say about motherboards is actually if you're buying a 3rd gen Ryzen processor with a 2nd gen motherboard. So over here we have the compatibility of Ryzen processor with a Ryzen motherboard. So usually it's forward and backward backward compatible. You just look at this, make your research. The main reason why I'm talking about this is actually if you're buying a 3rd gen Ryzen with a 2nd gen motherboard, you will probably need a BIOS update. So some X470 and B450 motherboards still on the market, but some of the boards that have been in the supply chain for a while will need a BIOS update before you install a 3rd gen Ryzen processor. If you have bought a 3rd gen Ryzen with a 2nd gen motherboard, be sure that it has a badge that says it's Ryzen 3000 ready. If it doesn't have the badge, maybe read some of the reviews. Some people have said that I've tried it with my 3rd gen, even though it didn't have the sticker, I bought it, I tried it with my 3rd gen processor, and it still worked. So be careful if you're a new builder, you don't want to go through the headache of updating your BIOS. It's not that complicated, it's simple, but as a new builder, you just want to plug it and play. That's why I would suggest you, if you get a 2nd gen, get a 2nd gen motherboard. If you're getting 3rd gen, get a compatible motherboard with it. Now let's go and choose the RAM. So for RAM, I would suggest you to go with at least 16 GB. And if you're choosing AMD, you have to get at least 3000 megahertz because the speed of the RAM, will make a difference for your Ryzen processor. If you go over here, the 3 brands that I personally suggest are Corsair, G.Skill, and Kingston. So Kingston makes HyperX mostly. Alright, so choose the capacity that you want. In the filters on the left, there's a lot of filters. So the speed that I want is 3000, and I want a 2x8 so he can upgrade in the future to 32 GB if he wants. Usually just go from price highest to lowest because it doesn't really matter, to be honest. And the G.Skill, here we go. G.Skill is pretty good. $62.99 is great price. Should be fine for him. If I add it, yes, I want 116. I already added before. But yeah, like RAM is super simple. Choose the one that looks good if you want. Maybe pay $5 or $6 extra. And yeah, G.Skill, Corsair, or HyperX should be fine. But honestly, any other brand will work as well. Alright, now so we're on to storage. For storage, I decided to not go with a hard drive at all because it's a lot slower than regular SSD, and a motherboard can't support an M.2. That's why I went with the Crucial P1 1TB SSD. It's $100, it's maybe a bit expensive, but honestly, compared to SSD prices when they were 2 years, 3 years before, it's incredibly cheap. Yeah, for storage, I would suggest you get any brand. Like all brands that make storage are pretty good. You have Crucial, Western Digital, Samsung, Seagate, Kingston, Intel, and SanDisk. If you find an SSD of SanDisk, they all should be fine. I don't like to find a good price and just choose it, to be honest. Get yourself an SSD, please. Please get yourself an SSD. You will see a big improvement in your computer. It will be a lot snappier. Everything will load a lot faster. So that's why M.2 SSD 1TB storage should be enough. 1TB, why? Because it's a lot of storage. He can download his games, he can download his videos, he can edit on it and put his raw footage on it. He should be enough, and if you want to add more in the future, he can just do it himself. It's super easy to do. So that's why the 1TB Crucial P1, $99, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna skip the graphics card and leave it to the end. Now I'm gonna go to the case. So for the case, I chose the Phanteks Eclipse P350X. For a case, it's a very personal choice. So it's like going to a store and buying a shirt. If you like it, I might not like it. So it's very personal. Just choose a shirt. Just choose a shirt. No, a case. Just choose a case that fits your motherboard and all your hardware, and you should be fine. Of course, you want to make it look good, and you want it to look good. So that's why I always suggest you to get a case with a tempered glass side panel, like over here. So you can showcase your PC that you've built hard to build, and that looks good, hopefully, if you did your cable management correctly. And yeah, this Phanteks case looks fine. It has a lot of space on the back for if you want to add SSDs. If I want to add the hard drive, I can do it easily. And it has a lot of filters, one on the front, one on the top. I have a power supply filter. It has a power supply cover, so if you don't want to look at the power supply, you can cover it. And it looks like it has a lot of air intake as well. So a case is very personal. Get one that you find nice and that has a tempered glass side panel. Now for the power supply. So if you've watched my last video, I talked about power supplies, and I've put the emphasis on buying a good branded power supply. A power supply is a very important piece because it's the piece that takes the power from your house to your PC. It's the electrical component of your PC. So that's why the EVGA Supernova G3, it's my decision. I chose it because it's a great brand. So the 4 brands that I suggested are EVGA, Corsair, Seasonic, and Cooler Master. Those 4 brands should do the job. They're a really reputable brand. And yeah, so for the number of wattage, so over here, the website gives you how much your PC is gonna use. So here it says 319 watts, which is a very low consuming PC. And I chose a 550 watt power supply. You might say, oh, it's too much. Why didn't you choose a 450? I just chose a 550 watt because if you want to add another graphics card, let's say, and change his motherboard and do SLI, he can do it without changing his power supply. So that's why I chose the 550 watt. Also, it's fully modular, so you can remove all the cables on the power supply and have better cable management. Semi-modular power supply is usually, some cables are always in the phone, always in the power supply. So for a beginner builder, I would suggest a fully modular power supply, and it's $92.98, which is in our budget. It's a good brand, so that's why I chose it. Now for the graphics card, the main event of tonight, of today. I don't know when you're watching, just watch it, and don't forget to do one thing for me. It's smash. Oh, it's too close. Okay, smash the like button. All right. For the graphics card, I chose the RTX 2060 6GB from MSI. The brand of the graphics card doesn't really matter, just the chipset of it. So if it's an RTX 2060, 2070, or 2080, 2080 Ti, and like all the others, I would suggest you comparing graphics card and choosing what graphics card is better for your need. I personally use user benchmark to compare graphics card. So over here I have the RTX 2060 versus the RX 5700 from AMD. They're almost both at the same price. So one is 458. I think this is Canadian. If I look at it, yes, it's Canadian. So it's 458 Canadian versus 442 Canadian, but we're talking in USD dollars, so it's actually 310 USD dollars. But it doesn't matter the price if it's Canadian, USA, just look at the performance here. What games are you gonna play? At what resolution? It really matters, especially the resolution, because if you're going from 1080p to 1440p, you will see a decent drop in frame rates. So I'm assuming he's gonna play at 1080p, because this is the monitor that I chose for him. It's a 1080p monitor, and I'm assuming he's playing GTA 5 because I'm playing GTA 5 and his cousin is playing GTA 5, so he should come and play GTA 5 with us. So for GTA 5, it has a 960 FPS compared to 97 FPS. If you look at Overwatch, PUBG, Fortnite, yes, the RX 5700 is winning, but why I went with the RTX 2060 is for the ray tracing technology. So the ray tracing technology, it's the newest technology. It gives you a better reflection. It's more realistic, and the AMD side doesn't have it yet. They're gonna probably have it in the future, but right now the RTX 2060, it's the best for his budget. So use this website. It's userbenchmark.com, gpu.userbenchmark.com. I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll leave the build link in the description as well. And yeah, so this is just, it gives you pretty much every single spec. It will compare for the both of them. So just look at the games that you're gonna play and you should be fine, to be honest, because he's going to be a gamer, he's going to be a streamer, so having a good graphics card should be a no-brainer for him. So it's for 1080p max, 96 FPS if you want to play CSGO 1080p, 244, 119, so everything is almost above 100 FPS, which is pretty good for me. Now, the only part that we have left is the monitor, and that's why this build was a bit difficult, because usually $1,000 for the PC alone without the monitor. But this time we had to include the monitor, and we didn't surpass his budget. We actually saved him some money. It's $972. I'm very happy that I was able to do it. So for the monitor, I chose the AOC 24-inch 1080p 75Hz monitor. For the monitor, how I personally choose them is I choose between 24 and 27 inch. Going lower than this, I don't like smaller monitors. So here I have 27 inch, here I have 24 inch, and honestly, going from 27 to a 24, if the 24 was my main monitor, I would have killed myself or something like that. Now for the monitors, I try to get him the best monitor I can for the remaining of my budget, and I had approximately $130 left, so I didn't have a lot of flexibility, but I wanted to get him at least a 24 inch or 27 inch if it was possible, if like there's a deal or something like this. But I was able to get him a 24 inch, so 23.8, which is a 24 inch, 1080p, 75Hz, 5 millisecond response, IPS panel, which is the best for color reproduction, and it was $105. It's a great deal in my opinion, and it looks like it's frameless. Yes, it is frameless. It looks good. He has the ports, he has an HDMI port. It looks good, it looks really good. Like, I'm jealous of him. It's a great monitor, should be fine for him. If you want to add another monitor, it's super simple, just go buy another monitor and plug it into your graphics card. And yeah, like, I would suggest you getting at least a 24 inch, because having less than 24 inch, it gets too small. And if I have 27 inch, and if I go to a 24 inch, I would like, it will be a day and night difference. I really don't want to do this. So yeah, so this is the build, guys. As I said before, the link will be down below in the description. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, you know what to do. Go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Comment down below if you think this is a good build and what other build I might have done for $1,000 budget. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Ginger TV, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.